Hi, welcome to our Three Dots marketing campaign. My name is Joseph Diamond.
I'm Abigail Quinn.
I'm Gavin Nika.
I'm Ryan Van Ness.
I'm Jeffrey Sin.
So when looking into the marketing project, the first thing that we took a look into was who exactly we'd be marketing this to. So our group came up with the idea to market to upperclassmen and graduate students, so students that are looking for a fun night out, but something more relaxed than going to a bar that's packed with underclassmen. And then as well, we wanted to target local families and communities, so looking for people in the area and how we can keep them coming back for continuous events. So when we looked into these groups, we talked to students about the venue selection process when they have events, how they kind of go through in deciding if they're going to have a formal at somebody's house or if they're going to rent out another space or a bar, whatever that may be, as well as how much are they willing to put towards the events, especially for smaller clubs where they don't have as much of a budget as some of the larger clubs. And then we also learned about what they felt like was missing from the existing options that they had, whether it was lack of space or seating, whatever that may be. And we also talked to local families and then learned about how they learned about local events, and a lot of that was through like social media posts and things like that. And then we also asked how to make, like, what kind of events would make them want to come back for repeat events, and they just said, having more like continuous events instead of one-off events.
Alright, so for our revenue plan, first we wanted to look at smaller clubs who needed a reoccurring meeting space. And since we're marketing to students, we had a few ideas, but we wanted to charge a lower fee so that we could increase the visibility of Three Dots. We also wanted to give the option of a semester-long deal to even make it less of an option so that people will continue to go back to Three Dots. One of our other ideas was a tasting room, which will be a tasting experience where local breweries and wineries from around State College and even from further away can come and market themselves to local families and students just to increase the visibility, and that'll be an event. We can charge both a vendor fee for those breweries coming in and for a consumer fee for the people coming in to taste. Similar to that, we wanted to have a local food competition. Same idea, but with local restaurants, and less of a high class idea than the tasting room, so not as much, but pretty much the same idea. And then finally, we wanted to have a scavenger hunt. Wouldn't be a huge revenue. We charge like a small fee, which would pretty much be offset by the reward offered for the scavenger hunt. Again, just to increase visibility of Three Dots and local community.
So focusing on our marketing plan, the most important thing we want to focus on is kind of our event branding, giving a high quality vibe to the entire events that we're going to be hosting. So for example, to kind of spin it as like a high quality, high upper class event, we were thinking of doing the Three Dots private nights for those social and event formals, the tasting room series for the wine and beer tasting, and also State College Bites for our local food competition. And then kind of looking at our social media strategy. Social media is one of the best ways you can market your brand affordably, and also if we're targeting a younger generation like students, they mainly use Instagram and TikTok, specifically Instagram Reels. That really helps to kind of branch out across the entire Penn State community and all of the university-based students, and then kind of focusing on experience-based content, what you can expect from the different type of events that we are offering, and then also get some student testimonials, how they like the event, what their opinions on it, and that can draw a lot of people in. That is really well performing, especially amongst local downtown event spaces. And then also a lot of interactive content, kind of like get people engaged, and social media, which can open the door to getting engaged physically with Three Dots. And then focusing on a launch strategy for our club events, we would need to do direct outreach, connect through university clubs and organizations through social media. That's one of the ways I've heard a lot of event spaces become available, through Instagram outreach specifically. And then for our tasting event, we could do a reveal type thing where on Monday it's like, what will the event be for this week, and then like the different wine lists and stuff to kind of build excitement. And then for our food competition, we'll definitely heavily promote with the restaurants so we can get a new market with the customers of these different restaurants. And then there's also just different ways restaurants can provide outreach to new customers that will then come to Three Dots and stay with Three Dots. So then looking at a social media post, this is kind of a mock-up for the type of vibe we would go. So just kind of like if we're looking at a wine tasting night, we could caption it as POV Your Friday Night Just Got Better, which I know that's like younger slang, but if we want kind of older students to come to these events, that's a really great way to kind of relate to them, especially if we use lingo like POV. That's pretty popular on Instagram and TikTok. And then we'll mainly just focus on relatable content like this, interactive posts, as said before, and especially event promotion and pushing these events out there, constantly posting throughout the week. And then we definitely need to hire a social media intern. I know one was hired and then they graduated, so we definitely need to focus on younger undergrad students like freshmen and sophomores. They will not expect high pay like seniors and juniors do, especially as they get more experience with internships. So that can really help with cutting costs, but also making sure to reach out and be in tune with someone who is really clued in on events on and off campus, because as you go out your school, you kind of become disconnected with events on campus. So they're really in tune with that as well. And then also, like I said before, just having a consistent posting schedule is really important. And also we can do collaboration posts as well, especially with partnerships with local restaurants and businesses.
Other than just advertising Three Dots, we want to create a guerrilla campaign called Connect the Dots. In this campaign, we would have a scavenger hunt placed across campus and downtown using QR codes and clues placed at partner locations. Each QR code could have a dot-inspired design, which would reflect the Three Dots brand while still remaining scannable. On each stop, you would build curiosity, promote a Three Dots event, and at the final stop, you would bring participants to Three Dots itself for a reward. Finally.
And so this is the revenue breakdown. This is the income statement. So you'd only need to make around $1,000 a week, and that's just from event space rentals. You could do that by giving clubs like buy 2 hours, get an hour free. You can do it through discounts like that. There's also, we mentioned our tastings and competitions. Ticket sales, if you did one of those 3 times a month, you could probably make $1,000 each. So that ends up being $7,000 a month, $84,000 a year. Now, after you pay staff, you set up the events and everything else, social media promos, you can make $36,000 a year. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.